Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Mid Morning. It seems like there's been a story about tariffs every day, but what is a tariff? And what does it mean to your bank account? And when could prices go up? Those are questions many people and even business owners are asking. So I went to the experts to learn more. Take a look. All right, everybody, joining me now is Anthony Cambus, and he is a tariff expert. Let's say that. He is the statewide manager for international trade at the Rice Center at Ole Miss, and he's also a faculty member. And Anthony, I appreciate you joining us. It seems like tariffs and what's happening with tariffs changes every single day.
Yes. Well, thank you, Joey, for the invitation. Yes, in the current context we are in, that is literally true. Tariffs are changing, or at least talk of tariffs and changes when they will come into effect is another issue. But tariffs do change every day, and you need to stay on top of it.
And so, one of the things that we've talked about, we've discussed, is exactly what is a tariff. Maybe some people are kind of confused about what that is.
Well, first, I'll start by saying a tariff functions as a kind of tax. That's a simple way to look at it on an import into in this case, in the United States, into a country. But behind those tariffs, trade policy plays a key role. And so determining what those tariffs are depends on trade policy. And right now in the United States, under the new administration, there are some new trade policy guidelines that the president announced on his first day in office.
And Anthony, when we continue to look about the long-term impact of tariffs and maybe what impact they could have on your every family's pocketbook when they go to the store, whether it's the grocery store or they need to buy clothes or, just even spare parts, have their car worked on, it impacts almost every aspect of our lives.
Yes, and I'm not an economist. I'll preface this response by saying that, but I formerly worked in U.S. Customs, so I enforced tariffs. And what the general practice is that importers pay the tariffs and they're not usually reimbursed by the seller in the foreign country. And so the common practice over the years has been to pass the costs on to who's next in the stage. If it's the final consumer or someone who's buying, maybe a manufacturer who's buying a product that's imported, they may incorporate it into their final product, sell it in the domestic market, but often they will raise their prices as a result of the increased tariffs.
Now, Anthony, one thing that we also talked about before this interview started was just the fact that the Rise Center, one of the things they focus on is helping small businesses in Mississippi succeed. And can you kind of talk about how the ever-changing tariff situation impacts small businesses as they try and plan and budget, all those kinds of things?
Yes, I think one of the issues that's bringing a lot of attention to tariffs, and my experience working providing international trade assistance to small businesses over many years now, is that oftentimes a lot of companies didn't really pay close attention to this. As I said, to me, it ties into trade policy, and many small business owners would traditionally see this as something, that's not really of interest to me. I don't need to follow, as you said, on a daily basis, what's going on in trade policy and tariffs. But first, changing the mindset of companies that are involved in international trade, either directly or indirectly, small businesses need to be aware of the trade policy changes and what the proposed changes are and when changes may come into effect. And why is that important? Sourcing, being able to determine what your costs, every business owner knows that it's really important to understand what your costs are in order to be able to determine your pricing and your profit margins.
And Anthony, I guess kind of, I don't know if I'm asking you to look in a crystal ball or what here, but I guess kind of maybe when do Americans, or how long does it take to feel the effect of a tariff, maybe in our economy, in our day-to-day budget?
In this day and age, I would say it could be pretty quick, almost immediately. And one thing I should add to my response to the question you just asked me before, I can serve to help companies understand what those changes are, what they mean, on the ground to them, and really be able to translate those complex issues that are from various sources into the language that the particular company would prefer to understand it. And so these can take effect immediately. I mean, like supply chains and figuring out, do you have to pivot? Do you want to look at sourcing from other countries that might have a lower tariff? But on the flip side of that, probably the majority of the companies we serve also export. And so how could this affect their ability to sell their products into other countries? Will their tariffs go up as a result?
And honestly, that's one area I did not think about was Mississippi does export materials. I know often maybe a lot of people think about agricultural commodities, maybe, but there are other impacts other than just maybe everyone at home. But if you're selling things overseas, that could be
Yes.
an impact as well.
Yes, because what I've been following over the past 2 weeks, and kind of the days and weeks are blending together, but I've started to keep my own chart where I identify the issue that has come up. And it started on January 20th with the president's America First trade policy, which really said that it didn't implement any tariffs, but basically said this was going to be a high priority area for the United States, and instructed federal agencies that are involved in international trade to conduct research on why we have trade deficits and what we could do to remedy those trade deficits. So the import side is a key part of the trade deficit, obviously, but deficits also include what the US exports. So whatever trade policy we implement needs to address the export part as well if we're going to reduce the trade deficit.
All right, some very good business information there, and very helpful to explain tariffs and how they impact us right here at home, even in Mississippi. It's not, it is an international deal, but it's also local. Anthony, thank you so much. And when we come back, we will interview the director of the Rise Center at Ole Miss. Stay with us. All right, welcome back, everybody. We are continuing to talk about economics, business economics, maybe in the state of Mississippi. And one place that is centered to help small businesses, and especially those that are expanding, is the Rise Center at Ole Miss. And joining me now is the director, Chip Templeton. And I appreciate you joining me today, Chip. I did a brief summary about the Rise Center, but you know more in detail about the Rise Center. Can you kind of explain what you do there at Ole Miss?
Sure. First of all, the Mississippi SBDC, we call that the Mississippi SBDC network. We service about 7,000 small businesses each year. The Rise Center we formed about a year and a half ago as a specialty service that helps ongoing businesses, maybe high growth, or they've stumbled and they need to get back to that. It may be that one factory in the whole county that's holding it all together, whatever. We serve a niche clientele, and we have 6 different buckets, so to speak, of areas of focus. And one of those, of course, as you know now from meeting Tony Campbell, is international trade. And we have some other areas. I'll touch on those right quick. We have financial analysis, we have market research, digital transformation, cybersecurity, and tech commercialization. So I don't expect the audience to have those 6 pop out of their brain right quick, but there are a lot of areas that gives a well-rounded focus on those areas that can help a business grow. And I want to say this right quick. Our catchphrase is guiding your business, growing our economy. So you mentioned economy a moment ago. It's all about growing our economy as the byproduct of us guiding your business.
uh, some fascinating aspects there of the Rise Center, especially the cybersecurity. We know that's going to grow as we continue to advance in technology, and small businesses have to keep up. Chip, this is one thing that I was curious about. So, when we say small business, are we talking mom and pop gift shop, or are we talking maybe an industrial? Maintenance facility that employs 30 people. What type of small business is it that the Rise Center helps?
I'm so glad you asked that. I was wanting to talk about that too. Traditionally, over the many years, we have helped more of the mom and pops. And of course, I was a mom and pop myself for years, and so I very much love that part of business life. But when you say small business, the definition of that is actually done by the SBA. So it depends on what industry you're in. You could actually be a business up to 600, 700 jobs in that company and still be considered a small business. So we help all of the above. Most of the companies we help are probably 5 employees or less. But when it comes to the Rise Center, that goes up quite a bit. And so we have the ability to help those with several hundred in their business. And so, everybody has the same problems. They're just in a slightly different way. So it's refreshing. And nowadays we have companies that would have never come to us in the past because they didn't know that we had anything for them. Now we can help them well, and we can be a sounding board for them, which is so important. And we're not trying to substitute by being their financial advisor or their lawyer or their accountant, but we serve a specialty trust factor that's neutral, and it really provides a pathway they can grow from just hearing from somebody else.
And one thing in talking about this assistance is it's probably the best bargain and the best price for any small business owner. I'll let you talk about that.
I'm glad you brought that up also. Yes, we call it very affordable. It doesn't cost anything. We don't like to say free because we think it's priceless, not worthless. So it's your tax dollars are at work that provide this to all of the states, and each state has their own organization for that. And so it's there for you. As a business owner myself, I never heard of the SBDC until I was asked, hey, I think you'd be a good fit for them. And so it's been a joy to be a part of that since 2016 because I see what a gold mine this is for an opportunity that can help a business owner stay in business and not make some mistakes that they wouldn't have made. So it's for everybody at no cost.
And one last question before we kind of move along here, but I wanted to ask you what is maybe the number one issue or the number one concern small business owners in Mississippi have? They're called the backbone of our economy, but it's very important to address the issues that they have. But what is that?
That's a tough question to answer, so I'm probably going to give you an answer you wouldn't have thought of. A business owner, especially the smaller number of people that you have to wear all the hats of all the problems of the business. As you get bigger, you can have different departments and so forth. But the business owner is responsible for all those departments. Some they have natural talents for. Some their talents can be very negative for that. And so their biggest problem is making sure they understand where they go to shore up those areas. That's just not in their wheelhouse. Some they can be educated to be better at it, but sometimes we just don't have the talents for those skill sets. And so I think it's just making sure you know all the different things that you've got to know about as the business owner and take care of those because you can't just ignore problems. And that's how you hang around a while. You go through the business cycle of the ups and downs, and that helps you guide yourself through the process.
All right, and one last thing here, Chip. How can they contact the Rise Center and learn more about SBDC Mississippi?
The easiest thing to do is just Google Mississippi SBDC or Mississippi Small Business Development Center, or put in the Rise Center at Ole Miss, and it'll quickly populate and can easily find that.
All right, some great information this morning with Chip and Anthony from the Rise Center at Ole Miss. Thank you both, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. For many, it's the most wonderful time of the year, baseball season. College teams are already taking the field, and in the majors, spring training just around the corner. That's where two Arizona women first bonded over their love for baseball, specifically the Chicago Cubs. Now they share a stronger bond through the gift of life. Jason Berry has more.
Denise Vasquez and Kathy Weedley knew right away they'd be lifelong friends from the moment they met at a Cubs spring training game at Mesa's Sloan Park in 2022. We interviewed Denise at the ballpark a year later, where the Navy veteran shared her love for the Cubs.
We literally moved from California here just for spring training. You got to try, at least try.
But an unexpected health crisis that came from out of left field has put this friendship in a league of their own. Kathy recently learned her 54-year-old baseball buddy needed a kidney after the rare medical condition Denise had took a turn for the worse. Amazingly, the retired school teacher was a match and offered to step up to the plate and give her fellow Cubs fan a kidney.
It's part of giving back. I was afflicted 18 and a half years ago with 3 diseases, West Nile virus, spinal meningitis, encephalitis, and I was told I wouldn't wake up the next day. So I promised God, give me my life back as I've always known it, and I'll do good every day the rest of my life. This is part of it.
For her to step up when she did. She saved my life. She's given us many more spring trainings and a lot more Cubs games.
We sat down with the donor and recipient at Dignity Health St. Joseph's Hospital in Phoenix, where the transplant took place. A month after the procedure, both patients are feeling good and ready to play ball on the road to recovery.
It's a great story.
Kidney transplant coordinator Gabrielle Juarez says there's no reason these two brave ladies can't be back in the stands cheering on their cubbies when spring training games start up again in a few weeks.
The goal of transplant is quality of life. That's what we tell our patients. So getting back to those things that they want to do, being able to go to the Cubs games, being able to, enjoy that hot dog at the game again, and enjoying the camaraderie that brought them to this point.
Denise said it's hard to put into words how much it means to know that her dear friend went to bat for her and that her favorite team helped save her life.
If it wasn't for the Cubs, I would have never met her, and she would have never known I had kidney failure, and yeah, we would never be here. It means my whole life.
The women say they hope their story will inspire others to give the gift of life. By the way, Valentine's Day was also National Donor Day. And, of course, go Cubs. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Tickets for Beyonce's new tour are on sale, and fans are worried they'll be shut out or the browser will crash. Ticketmaster says buyers did have trouble during a pre-sale because of massive demand. So here are some ideas to improve your chances of scoring tickets.
She's coming to Atlanta on my birthday weekend, so this better work out. This better work out!
TikTok sports content creator Mariah Rose expressed what a lot of Beyonce fans are going through this week.
Dear Lord, pray that this lady ain't playing with me. Get my card out.
Documenting every excruciating moment, trying to buy pre-sale tickets to the Cowboy Carter tour. You look pretty tense.
I was so nervous because it starts at 12. And then you have to wait in a waiting room, I guess a virtual waiting room. As soon as it's time to go, it's just like, it's your turn. And then you have to fight for tickets.
Tickets to see Queen Bee are being sold by Ticketmaster. You'll remember during Taylor Swift's Eras Tour pre-sale, ticket buying bots crashed the website. And last fall, more trouble.
The tickets are gone. Gone.
When scammers stole Swift tickets right out of fans' accounts. There are things you can do to increase your odds of scoring hot tickets. For example, Ticketmaster says, first, sign into your account at least 30 minutes in advance. Make sure your payment information and phone number are up to date in your Ticketmaster account. And only use one device, with one browser and one tab open. Joining with more could cause glitches.
Okay, now I have 1,940 people ahead of me. 1,700 people ahead of me. 1,500 people ahead of me.
Now, if Ticketmaster sells out, you can turn to the secondary market. If you do, be wary of anyone demanding payment through peer-to-peer apps like Zelle or Venmo. That could leave you open and vulnerable to scams.
Shopping on classified ads or social media sites don't often offer those protections to the customer.
Reseller StubHub recommends shopping with trusted secondary ticket sellers that offer buyer protection.
Always buy tickets from a platform that has that type of guarantee in place to make sure that in the rare instance where something does go wrong, you are protected.
Ticketmaster, StubHub, Vivid Seats, and SeatGeek all offer some form of ticket guarantee.
Processing my order, processing my order, processing my order, processing my order.
So you got your tickets, so proof it's possible, right?
Exactly. I'm living proof. You can get tickets. And I was 2000th in line, so you should be okay.
Once you have your tickets, check periodically to make sure they're still in your account. If they disappear, contact the platform you bought them from immediately. And never post pictures of your tickets online. Scammers could counterfeit them and steal your seats. Usher Qureshi, CBS News.
We'll be right back. Stay with us. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on Mid Morning. We hope you have a great day.